It's recording now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
It's me. Okay, so that's recording. All right, so we're ready?
Yeah, I guess we're ready.
Counting down. 1, 2, 3.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to or welcome back to Return of the Living Dead Girls. Ah, we did it together. I've been wanting to do it together.
Finally, we did it together, bitch.
We did it together. Welcome,
Okay.
everybody. Welcome, everybody. Here we are for another episode. Another fun episode. I kind of decided, or we made a group because I was thinking about it. I was like, we need to do a horror movie every other episode because it's kind of in our little tagline or whatever. So I'm like, let's talk about some horror. And we're going to do a real throwback today.
I mean, they're all throwbacks, I would say, right?
True. Very fucking true.
Most of this one.
Yeah. But we're going to throw it back all the way to like the 50s and then the 80s. And we're going to talk about the Blob. I don't know. A friend of mine through Instagram, she said that she had never heard of the movies. So I was like, okay. I'm like,
The Blob?
She never heard of the Blob. And I was like, okay, girl. But some people haven't heard stuff. I mean, you know. And
True.
some people are just young.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I did know about the Blob in high school, though. But I've always kind of liked shit like that. So
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, so the original one is from the 50s. And as we know, it was super exciting. The graphics were like excellent.
They were not excellent, girl.
1958 to be precise. And then they had the latest one, which was in the 80s, 1988.
Yes, so the 50s one for me, I mean, it was boring, you know. I mean, what can I say? It's same
Black
thing
and
kind of
white.
like, you know, back. Actually, the one that I saw wasn't black and white. Did I
Oh
watch
shit,
the
was
right one?
mine?
Because the one that I saw was in the 50s, but it was color.
It might have been color.
I was going to ask you this right away. Did you recall hearing the theme song of The Blob on the 50s?
Yes.
And it was very much like, they were like, The Blob, The Blob. And I was like, what the fuck?
I actually have a note about that. I'm not even fucking kidding you.
Is this like a happy song about the Blob in the 50s? I was like,
So this is what I took a note on about that because I'm like, this song is outrageously like distinct and just funny and like weird
for a Blob, for a horror movie.
The tongue-in-cheek title song, The Blob, was written by Burt Bacharach. That's why I fucking took that note.
Okay.
And Mac David, who I'm not really sure, maybe I should know. It became a nationwide hit in the United States, peaking at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1958.
Ooh, we were listening to that Dream the Blob.
And honestly, I was kind of like, oh yeah, what the hell? It was just like very kitschy and campy, you know, for the movie, which I love. That's just kind of part of the Blob, I feel like.
It was something else. When I first heard it, I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's like, okay, we are here watching the Blob. But yeah, so the 50s version, you already know.
I mean, it's
slower.
It was definitely slow. A lot of talking. A lot of like, oh, what do we gotta do?
The story development was not great.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
The lead star though is Steve McQueen, which when I talked to my mother and Brian, they both were like, he was the Tom Cruise of their day.
Oh shit! Okay.
He was a race car driver, I guess, and
I want to say I've heard of that name, Steve McQueen.
Yeah, that's why the Cars character is McQueen.
Oh shit!
Because of Steve McQueen.
Trivia.
Yeah, which I did know that because I've known about this actor, but yeah, they said that he would do like his own stunts and all that. And this movie, actually, The Blob was like one of his like breakout. It was like the breakout role for Steve McQueen, his acting career.
So can I say one thing though about it is like, because again, I understand in the movie he was supposed to be a teenager in the movie, right? Him and like the girl.
Yeah, I believe so.
And I'm like, these motherfuckers are portraying teenagers. I'm like, they look like they were in their 40s.
He's like a grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man. He had wrinkles on his face a little bit. I was like, he's a teenager, okay?
He done been smoking a pack a day at least. Like, he's at that point, yeah.
Oh.
But, and she definitely looked like she could have been, like, in her 30s, too, but...
I said like 40s as old as I'm in my 40s. But whatever.
She's like, old motherfucking asses.
Old ass. But he looked old. I mean, I was like, okay, he's supposed to be a teenager. All right.
You know how they do.
Yeah.
That was, even back then. Yeah, they're like, you could do it. We're going to believe it. It's fine.
Exactly. You're a teenager.
Yeah.
You're a 16-year-old boy.
Automatically, I mean, there's a super contrast with the 50s versus the 80s. The 80s one is what really drew me in, and I got her interested because I was just excited about it. And I'm just like, girl, I showed her some clips. I'm like, the way people in the 50s version, they weren't really
compare.
Getting blobbed, but like in the 80s version, people get fucking blobbed, and I love it. It's so good. It just ridiculous.
I will say though, in the 50s version, the blob itself, I mean, I can see they were trying it. Like, that was good effect, I guess, back in the 50s, because the blob was like literally rolling around and moving around like a fucking putty ball, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it was basically, so the blob is like it was an alien. It was a species, I guess, that it was a comet or something, came from an asteroid, landed in the ground, a farmer found it. He gets blobbed on his hand or something like that.
Yeah, because he wants to poke it with a stick. I'm like, you see some shit come from space, then you're going to go up to a poke with a stick, like, you're asking for it. I'm just saying.
I don't know, though. I mean, but if you think about it, you might want to do that. I would be like, what is that?
You would do that. I would not fucking do that.
I probably would. I'd be like, let's
from some
see
shit,
what
like,
it is.
no, it could explode. It could be poisonous. It could be an alien. Like, no, you just don't go poking shit with sticks.
And I'm over here like, poke it.
Mm-hmm. You're like, sorry. I'm like, that's why you got blocked, bitch. Like... But yes, the guy, they found him, right? Because he was like in the road maybe, or he staggered out, and they're like, get in the car, and then they took him to the hospital.
Yeah, and I will say that I kind of started to fall asleep during some of the 50s Blob, bitch, because that's how boring it was for me. I'm sorry, I know. But I did kind of fast forward because like, okay, they're doing a lot of talking, because apparently, I mean, the scenes where the Blob was like obviously coming out, like you clearly see that it's something that's killing people, but they didn't really show people get blobbed in the 50s. Mm-hmm. They were just kind of like, you would see the blob kind of rolling around, and then the person would be like, ah, and then that was it, and then you just knew the blob got him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like really how it happened.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. The blob is gonna get you, and then the blob gets bigger.
The blob gets bigger from feeding on you.
Yeah.
I guess it absorbs you, it eats you.
Yeah.
And it gets bigger and stronger.
Yes.
We're gonna move right past the 50s, but we're gonna end it because in the 50s one, how it ends is like basically the military's all out and everybody's freaking out about it, and they figure out that cold hurts it, or cold, it doesn't like cold. Mm-hmm. So they ended up, I guess, freezing it. I forgot how they froze it. Girl, like I said, I was kind of in and out. But then I
had to start it like 3 times and still didn't watch it in the entirety because I was always doing something else or not paying fully attention, which is not good. That's so not good.
But from what I remember, and it was a very abrupt ending, is they get the blob, they froze it, paralyzed it, I guess. They grab it and they fly it to Antarctica, and then they drop it, and you see the blob parachuting down into the ice, and then it goes, the end. I was like, oh, okay. That's how, okay.
I will say this. There's a sequel to the 50s version. Did you see any of that one?
No.
I watched more of that probably than the 50s one, honestly. Okay. And that one is in the 70s.
Okay.
And honestly, I recommend start there. It is so ridiculously.
I imagine the 70s one would be better.
70s and psychedelic and like, again, campy.
You should have watched that one.
It's so crazy. It is so funny. But it's good. I'm like, it's good. But again, we can swing right past that because I don't have too many details on that. But
because that was the main star of the show.
Basically, we're here to talk about the 1980s version. So that's where we're at. That's the truth. And now it's out.
The Blob.
Yeah.
And it came from the 50s.
And that's really what we know.
My bad. I done dropped the camera.
We done dropped the camera. And now it's zoomed in on me. Hey, everybody. Hi.
Oh, my God.
Hi.
Okay, so go ahead.
1988, basically, stars of the show, Brian and Meg. Those are the main characters. Brian is Kevin Dillon, who we found out is 19 years old in this movie.
Young buck.
Meg is Brian and Meg. Okay, first off, that's a funny little joke there.
Family Guy.
Family Guy reference, and we're gonna just do this a little tiny bit. Meg is played by somebody named Shawnee Smith, who I love because she is also the star of the Saw. Well, she's not the star, but she's like Jigsaw's right-hand woman, basically, in those movies.
Which is awesome. I think I remember her. She looked pretty young in that movie too, actually.
Yep. So we looked that up, and she is actually 18 years old in the Blob movie in 1988. She was 18 years old.
Children.
Youngies, barely legals, just to be completely inappropriate about that.
But no, we always say that is because we thought they were older. I was like, look at them, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, they're only 18 and 19 because the guy. Well, they were both very attractive in the movie. I thought.
Yeah, he was definitely hot, and she was.
They had that 80s thing going.
Yeah, there was a scene. She drove a bug in that movie. I don't know if you clocked that at any moment.
I did recognize that.
I was like, she's driving a bug. She was wearing Guess jeans with the triangle logo. I clocked that too.
Oh, girl, you and your fashion.
I know.
I didn't even fucking notice that.
I mean, those jeans are pretty iconic with that triangle thing. So if you know, you know. But yeah, so the stars of the show basically starts off like the 50s version. A homeless guy sees this shit coming from space, and he goes to poke it with a stick like a human monkey that he is.
I mean, they ought to keep it kind of like the original, I would say. Again, I would poke it. I would, out of curiosity, I would fucking get a stick and poke it. Spit it to the microphone. Okay.
So she would poke it. I would not poke some shit that I saw fly out of space.
I would be that one that's gonna get abducted. Something that happened to me. I'm always the brave one, right? I'm always when we go ghost hunting. Every time I'm like, come on, let's go down that dark area. No. I'm like, all right, fine. Let's go at night. No, Elaine. All right, fine.
I'd be the scaredy one.
She's the scaredy one, which I guess it's good. It's more logical. And I'm all like, come on, let's go do it. I'm the one getting killed.
And then I'm always like, I need to be more brave. But man, I'd be scared. It's not even the humans I'd be scared. I'd be scared of like other shit. It's the humans backwards. It's the humans I'm scared of, not even the other shit.
If we didn't have humans to worry about, we would probably go explore more.
Oh my God, totally. I'm always thinking like, am I gonna get fucking murked in the woods by a human? By a human? Do you know what that is?
No.
Do you remember Fern Gully?
Yeah, of course I remember Fern Gully.
There's a part where one of the fairies that's riding a beetle, it's like the guy gang, and he was like, she's like, it's a human. He's like, a human? And his lips starts fucking shaking.
All I know is that they made the fucking cartoons in the Fern Gully hot too.
I know. What was her name?
They had no fuck. Krista, right?
Oh, Krista.
Krista, man, when I was a little girl, I knew I was gay or something. Because I was like, she's so
She
pretty.
wanted Krista.
Girl,
she wanted that
because she was, look, for those of y'all who've seen Fern Gully, and I know y'all fucking know.
She wanted that fairy
She was
dust.
hot. Krista was hot.
Krista was a hot character, and just leave it up to animators like Disney and whoever created that to make them hippie.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And with a waist that looks like an hourglass. Like, what are we doing? We're watching cartoons? Oh, okay. Thought I was getting a childhood crush boner. Okay.
Okay.
So, The Blob.
Back to The Blob.
I watched this movie in the whole thing some months ago. I'm going to admit that right now. She just watched it recently, so I'm going to be a little shaky on some of the stuff.
I remember it, a lot of it. Just the good pieces, you know, like the pieces that stood out to me. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking wild, you know, because right away I was already hooked on it when I started watching it, because it starts off pretty, you know, like right off the bat, like, oh bam, like what's happening, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of go through the kills.
That's what I was gonna say,
because the kills in the movie were absolutely crazy.
What makes the 80s movie are the kills, the people getting blobbed,
the graphics. Like, you don't even see graphics like that anymore.
It's so insane, so goopy, so campy. It's gross. It's just good though. It's so fucking good.
It is good.
You wanna get blobbed? Okay. So one of the first kill scenes is the homeless man, obviously, but that one's not really that bad. It's pretty tame.
It's kind of tame, but like basically it starts like where like he gets blobbed,
like sizzling and shit.
Turn into a sizzling platter. They take him to the hospital. They check on him. Boom, he's basically like half of his body is gone and burnt and sizzling, because he's like, the blob took half of his body. Yeah, and he's sizzling on the fucking gurney. and they're like, oh my God, blah blah blah. And then the boy calls the cops. Like, I guess the guy that old girl was on a date with, whoever his name was, I don't know. He wasn't.
I don't remember that character's name, but yeah.
The one that bought the ribbed condoms, basically.
Oh yeah.
Or his friend. Oh, I forgot, because that was another thing too. Is that his friend? Completely forgot about that. Is that, do you remember that part where his fucking friend was in the car at the makeout lane with the other girl, and he was trying to get the girl drunk, and he was literally trying to fucking take advantage of her.
Oh yeah,
because he was like giving her like drinks, and she was kind of passing out, and he was like,
yeah, he thought that she was passed out,
and this motherfucker was trying to cop a feel on her. I was like, you
like
motherfucker.
Rape her.
And the blob got him, which I'm like, you know what, good. Yeah. Good.
And it got him good. I was like,
but the blob got her too.
Yeah, she was basically the blob.
Hi, Looney.
Uh-oh, here comes my troublemaker. We'll see what he's gonna do.
Alrighty. Oh my God. What do you have to say about the blob? What do you have to say? Okay.
One of my favorite scenes, though, I mean, besides that guy getting blobbed for trying to take advantage of that girl, which I wish we all had a fucking, like, defense thing like that. There's this other kind of obscure horror movie. It's called Teeth, and I wish I wish we had teeth in our vagina like that. The world, the power dynamics in the fucking world would be so different, and we
y'all
would
have
rule
seen
the
that
goddamn
movie,
world.
Look up that movie Teeth.
Good.
It's pretty tripped out, actually.
Yeah, it's very good. But back to the blob. Brian and Meg, the main characters, they really make this movie, along with the kills. What was one of your favorite kills, though, in the movie?
Basically, mine was probably where the guy got sucked in through the pipe in the diner.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, yeah, he's like trying to fucking, like, the blob like finds his way through the city. That's when basically shit starts happening, really popping off.
Yeah, the blob really starts acting wild. He's like, I'm in the city now, I'm about to fuck shit up.
Basically.
This town pink.
And the guy's like trying to fucking, like, I guess unclog he thinks there's a clog in the drain. He's trying to unclog it in the sink. Boom, the blob grabs him, pulls him into the fucking tiny sinkhole. Imagine your whole body getting pulled through a sinkhole, a small hole in the sink, your sink, and your body gets sucked through that motherfucker. And you see the guy just getting pulled in there, and the only thing that's left is his fucking foot or hand or whatever.
And before his foot goes down, Brian and Meg and the waitress see it. They're witnessing the last of him getting sucked down before he's like fully just gone.
And that just powers the Blob. The Blob just fucking turned on by whatever the fuck the Blob did.
Yeah, because then it like volcano shoots up
onto the fucking ceiling. And the Blob just like starts coming out, and they're like, shit, and they realize they gotta fucking run. Shit's getting real.
Yeah, and then one of my favorite kills almost comes directly after. The waitress escapes. Brian and Meg go to the freezer. The waitress escapes outside to the phone booth.
To call
for help. Help, help. She's not realizing, like, oh shit, chaos going around. She's like, oh shit. Blob is like slowly just blobbing the whole fucking thing, and she's like calling for her cop friend that actually they kind of had a thing, but she waited too late. Now she's gonna die. Spoiler alert. And as soon as she's like, well, where is he? Where is he? And they're like, well, he's at the diner. And then by then the Blob has fully surrounded the whole phone booth, and there's her cop crush friend dead in the Blob. And then you get this inside shot of the fucking Blob like imploding into the phone booth, and the fucking lady gets all jacked up, and it's
she's all like, ugh, gets all fucking jacked up and jolted around.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, spoiler alert too. This is like one of the major twists of the film, which is my cat is right here on the edge. That's one of his fur, one of his hairs on the damn thing. He's like, I will.
Okay. He don't want to say nothing no more.
But the biggest plot twist of this movie that really like sold me on this, because you get the idea that this is like this alien blob coming from outer space, right? But later in the movie you realize, what does it say? The
government was working on, which still confuses me, because I don't, how did they create
Motorcycle
it, though?
Kid sees that it's actually a U.S. experimental bacteria, a biological warfare experiments.
But how did it come from outer space? Or did they plant it from outer space, then it just landed?
I think so.
Well, all I know is that the
all they're
has
doing. It was all they're doing. Come on.
Their free time.
Like, he has to stop right in front of it. But, yes. So, again, I just thought that was an amazing plot twist. I'm like, of course it's the government, right? But then, yeah, they capture them after that. And then it really starts to kind of hit the fan between him and Meg being like these badasses, basically.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised by them. They really just stepped it up. Like, I was like, damn, look at him go. Like, he just fucking, like, wilded out, like, took control of shit. He was like, no, fuck authority. I don't trust these motherfuckers.
You want him on your side.
You basically want him on your side.
Big D energy.
He's got cojones. She's all like, fucking, her ovaries are like, bitch, you're a woman. And she's like, yes,
ovaries
I am.
Of steel. Tits of steel.
Tits of steel, bitch. She's just like, fuck this shit. So they both literally like are the ones who are like, we gotta fucking do something.
We gotta fight.
So
they start to basically fight at every step, and it's really cool to watch, honestly.
It was good. The way the movie was written and the way it was shot and just all the scenes, it was really well played out. You know, like it wasn't corny. You know, some 80s movies are kind of corny. I mean, the music was kind of corny, but like...
Yeah, but like, it's still good.
Yeah, like the way it was really action-packed to me. You know, like, I was like, oh shit, you know, like fucking...
Again, the blob scenes, like people getting blobs, it kind of just making its way through people and places. And
the movie theater scene, which was also iconic because that was also in the 50s. The 50s one wasn't, obviously it was gruesome. Yeah. Like, you know, but the one in the 80s, the movie scene, like people were starting to get blobbed left and right, and people were getting fucking disintegrated. He had people with acid phase. Like, I guess the blob was acidic.
Oh, yeah. I love that. That was also one of my favorite scenes, too. The guy fused to the ceiling. The blob had him, like, and he's all like, oh. I'm like, that would be cool to, like, if you were that person to shoot, you know? I'm sure it was like electronic maybe, but it was really cool.
It was awesome. Fucking basically, just to make the long story short, same thing. The Blob, they realized that the Blob was not immune to cold. So they realized that they're like, oh shit, like they had like some fire extinguishers, and they were like, the
and
girl
that was Brian
like
and Meg that basically discovered that.
Yeah, because they were in the diner. I forgot. We're kind of going all over the place. But they hid in the freezer because they were fighting from the Blob. The Blob tried to get them. Blob got freaked out because they were in the freezer. And I guess the ice like kind of fucked it up, and it was like, ah! And then it kind of backed off and went off after the old girl that was in the telephone booth. But basically, towards the end too, is like when they're all in the city and everybody's like, come on, we gotta go. It was like the Blob is literally just after every fucking civilian. Yeah. So they all start running towards like the fucking, I guess this, I don't know if it was a library, a building, I don't know, some building. And old girl, Meg, has a fucking fire extinguisher. She's just shooting at it because every time the Blob reaches out, she's like, ksh, ksh. And the Blob's like, so she's all like, I got it, I can do it. So people are realizing that, okay, fire extinguisher. But the fire extinguishers are only going to last a certain amount of time.
Not very long, yeah.
And then here comes Brian with his badassery. And he's like fucking, he decides to go hijack a fucking snowmobile or like, I guess.
Like a snow truck or some shit. A snow truck
that produces snow or something or whatever.
Using his brain.
And,
yeah, he was a good character. Like you want
to get blobbed,
right? You gonna get blobbed.
Anyways, so he grabs the fucking truck, runs, tries to fucking he's driving. He's like, I'm gonna go get everybody. I think the Blob like fucking stops him or like corrects the truck. He flips over, the truck falls to the side. He's like in the fucking, like he's trying to get out.
Meg goes and helps him.
And this bitch she grabbed like a machine gun from one of the government people because they're all fucked up, getting all fucked up. And she starts shooting that shit, and she's like, you want some, motherfucker? Like, well, she didn't say that, but she was like, is that all you got? Like she was like really just like getting wild. I'm like, look at this bitch.
Yeah, she was just like Rambo style on their ass. She was like instantly like just a fighter.
She just fucking did.
And she played it very well.
She did good. She did real good in that. But one part that made me laugh, I don't know if you remember. I was like, what the fuck? Like, she saw a bomb, and I guess she was gonna grab it, and then she was gonna try to obviously put the bomb onto the snowmobile truck so it could explode, whatever, right? So she goes, puts the bomb, and she's like on top of the truck, and that's when she's shooting at it. She's like, come on, and she like sets the bomb. The Blob's coming, and then she's like trying to get off, but then her ass just immediately falls.
Her foot gets caught.
Her foot gets caught, and the way she fell, I was like,
she was like almost upside down or something, like hanging. I'm thinking, how in the fuck?
I don't know. The way she fell, I was like, oh shit, this bitch just fell, gets caught real right away. She's fucking dangling from the fucking truck.
Brian saves her though.
But Brian does save her. Brian gets out. He's like, he grabs her, pulls her. Blob comes, boom, the truck explodes. So they finally made it to a fucking safe distance. Truck explodes,
freezes the whole fucking Blob.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how that happens, but hey, it's a movie. The snowmobile, I guess, froze the Blob as it exploded. Mm-hmm. And I forget though, did they oh wow. Guys, sorry about that. It was on the podcast.
Anyways,
he's always a grumpy guy.
I'm
every
like,
time y'all gonna get a fucking
grumpy too. Anyways,
the Blob gets frozen.
The Blob is basically taken down, but
do they? I forgot. Did it end like? Did they scrape it? Oh no, that's right.
The Reverend, that's right. That was basically the ending of the movie because
he gets a piece of it.
He saved a piece of it, and after all of it was frozen, they all, ooh, we won, we beat it. Like he's off in the desert somewhere giving like religious fucking powered speeches.
Like basically, like what is that word that they do? Like fire and brimstone speeches, I guess.
Yeah,
Like he was like one of them crazy creatures.
Mm-hmm. And then it's basically like it shows him.
It's like almost like he became like a cultist or something.
Yes, totally. And then he's like in his room, like with his precious, and it's like the fucking piece of Blob in a jar.
He was like, soon it'll happen.
And I'm like, wow.
And basically, it leaves it to where there would be a sequel, perhaps, or something. Dude. Or it just ends like basically he's gonna unleash the Blob because he has a piece of the Blob, it's growing, and it ends like that.
I mean, what else do you need to know, really?
What else do you need to know?
But I would love for somebody to remake or like do the sequel now. But do like a real Blob. Don't make that shit CGI. Don't CGI that shit. Some of it okay, but like it should be an actual fucking Blob. People should be able to do that. So no, but I think the 1988 is that's the last one.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to remake a new one though.
I don't know who owns that. I don't know all that.
Yeah, that's true. I only see the last one was the 1988. They never made a new one.
That's why it's like a true classic.
That's crazy.
It's really good.
As many movies as they do remake, I'm surprised they never tried to remake that.
I know. And I didn't really research if there was like conversations. Or no, you know what? I think there was a conversation like in 2017, but again, I didn't fully read that.
I don't know.
But if you haven't heard of this movie, the 70s one is okay. 51 is definitely like okay. But the 88 one, that's the one you want to see.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to see. You want to see these folks get blobbed.
And again, we didn't go all into it. We were just kind of briefly like talking about just the main scenes of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a very good... It's a good movie to watch, the 80s one. I guess if you... Obviously, this spoilers. I mean, as you know, there's going to be spoilers here. But if you don't mind watching it...
At the end, spoilers.
Spoilers, right. There are spoilers. I mean, hey, y'all, there's going to be a disclaimer. There's going to be spoilers. But it is... If you haven't seen it, if you want to see it, it's a good movie to watch. I think it's a classic cult movie. Totally. You know, especially when that hasn't been remade and it kind of stopped in the 80s. You don't really see that because obviously they've made all, you know, then they make
everything.
Yeah, like there's Freddy Krueger's already remade.
Which is fine. Jason. I do appreciate that as well with other movies. I really do. Like, I would love if somebody did the Blob. Like, I would love if they did that because...
They remade The Thing, which is classic. I like The Thing. We should talk about The Thing one day.
Oh, next movie will be her choice. This was my movie choice because again, I was kind of like, you know, we should do horror movies like every other, or you know, try to.
Yeah, we like movies. We're obviously horror movie people. I mean, I like watching horror movies, but I don't really dig into the actors like she does, but. I do like watching horror movies. I'm all about it. I mean, obviously, right? We're scary movie people, paranormal people, alien people.
Yeah, and when we're talking about it, I like to know about the actors a little tiny bit. I mean, at least their names. And even then, half of them were like, the guy with the hat and the girl's dad.
We gotta take better note about their names because I don't even remember them.
This episode is definitely kind of scatterbrained. What is fucking new?
I mean, yeah, what's new? Most of those podcasts are scatterbrained. So, but y'all get the gist of it. We get the gist of it.
But yeah, again, like
it's for entertainment.
It's all of this is for entertainment. Even if it's like a more serious topic, which our next topic will be something not movie related. Not sure what it is yet, but
stay tuned.
Yeah, it'll be good. But I don't know. That's really it. Yeah. Mainly just want to say Brian is a fucking...
He was a G.
BDE.
He had that.
And Meg, energy. Shawnee Smith, she's kind of a horror legend at this point with her roles in The Saw.
She did real good.
And now that I know she was in The Blob, which... I mean, I love her.
I want to say I've seen her in other movies, though.
Oh, yeah. She's been in a lot of different things. Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
Do I know what those are? I don't know.
I don't know her name.
Her name is Shawnee Smith.
I mean, you know. I mean, if I were to see her, I'd be like, I don't know her name. Shit, I don't know.
I didn't know her name. Let's look it up really quick and see what else she's in. We already know, again, she was, I think, in...
I do know the guy, Brian, which is, what was his name again in real life? I've seen him in a few movies. Yeah, he was in Platoon. Dillon. If y'all seen Platoon, he was crazy in Platoon. That's a crazy movie, though. I have seen him in other little movies. Yeah. He's a popular actor in the 80s, from what I remember.
Oh, wow, yeah. She's been in, like... Yeah, Saw 1, 2, 3, like almost.
So she was in all the Saw movies?
All of the, like at least half of them.
I thought she was in like one of the Friday the 13th movies. She seems like she would have been.
In or Jason. The Grudge 3? I've never seen that.
The third one. I only seen the first one.
I Saw What You Did. That was 1988. Christmas versus the Walters. Iron Eagle. Armageddon. I've seen that, but like years ago. She's in a remake of Carnival of Souls, which that is like, I have it on DVD in a black and white collection. If that's the one from like the 30s or like the 40s, what? It's like a super old one. Face of Evil, The Island. I don't know. She's been in like a whole bunch of random. Look at that. She was in a movie in 1996 called Female Perversions.
What the fuck?
She was definitely over 18 in that movie.
We would hope so.
So she was in some of the X-File episodes. She was in Stephen King's The Shining. That was probably the series, which I never really got into that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I didn't know there was a series.
But, yeah, it looks like she has a lot of kind of obscure... That's a lot of damn movies, though.
But I guess Saw would be a particular one that would be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, horror-wise, that's going to put her on the map. And she's good in those movies, like, girl. Again, I think she's the one that was in that needle pit, either in the first or the second one, which if you know, you know. I still don't like to think about that scene.
That might be a topic one day, the Saw movies. Although there's too many of them to go talk about, but we might pick one or two.
We'd have to do that, like, in a series itself. But, Shawnee Smith, we love you. Hopefully you haven't done anything controversial or racist or homophobic or transphobic. And speaking of that, I don't know if anybody noticed this little jacket that I'm wearing.
Yeah, actually, we were going to shout out to that Miss Nikki over here. If y'all want to check out her custom pieces, it is at Trixie Rewear. Rewear.
I always say that. It's kind of a tongue twister too.
She has her own line.
I basically sell and customize clothes. I try to focus more on like vintage stuff, but I do like, this is a modern blazer that I customize. I put fringe and
you put that on there?
Yeah, I added the fringe.
Oh shit, bitch, I thought the jacket came like that.
Oh girl, no. Yeah, see, I cut the blazer.
Oh fuck. Okay.
And then I added the fringe, and then I added the word queer and put rhinestones and glitter. So I know there's a fellow queer out there that wants to be seen.
It's awesome. It's an awesome piece.
I will be pricing and posting it soon, but I have other awesome pieces, vintage, as far back as like the 60s and 70s on some of those. Like 90s Y2K stuff too, but check me out. Instagram and Depop, eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, all the things.
And as always, send us an email, scares.
We would love some emails in regards to this podcast.
I am still on the fucking emails. scaresandtrill@gmail.com.
If you don't fucking email, that's basically the point she's at. She's like, I'm opening it now. Nothing there.
No, there's nothing there. Don't be scared.
But yes, if you're listening, just send us an email about something spooky.
Or comment. Just leave us a comment on the Spotify.
Or comment, like, whatever. Give us a follow. We are beginners in this.
We had somebody say that they love the podcast, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, and I had a couple of girlies say that they were gonna check us out, so maybe they did. And shout out if you did.
Yep, shout out to our listeners. Thank you.
Illy. But yes, next time we'll try to be a little bit more.
Nope. We say it all the time, and it always is what it is, bitch.
Enough said. That was a great response. Thank you. But thank you, the Blob. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that new episode from Return of the Living Dead Girls.
And as always,
Return to the Living Dead Girls. Bye.